Hello, Bible readers. It is Thursday, June 3rd. We're reading from Daniel, first couple chapters, and the whole letter of 2nd John. It's really quite a challenging one, isn't it? Okay, so the book of Daniel. This is arguably the most unusual book of the Hebrew Bible. It uses apocalyptic as its genre in the last 6 chapters, much like we've gotten familiar with apocalyptic through Revelation and Ezekiel and even Isaiah. We know that apocalyptic can be problematic because it's a genre not many of us understand, and that's not anything new. As 21st century people, this has always been a problem, as people have read it perhaps as predictive instead of descriptive. And so parts of Daniel have been used forever, but even especially in the last 30 years, to come up with dispensations and all kinds of, the rapture is rooted in Daniel, the idea of rapture. So anyway, that's a whole other set of stories. But many would say Daniel is a dangerous book because it fuels religious speculation, and it has been blamed, probably rightly, for contributing to social unrest and even revolution. As my commentary says, in order to appreciate a book of such multifaceted interests, one needs to place Daniel in some literary, historical, and perhaps just as important, sociological and political context. So, and this is one of those things, nuance is always harder to communicate or talk about than simple black and white answers. And so that's what we come up against in Revelation, Ezekiel, Daniel. It's hard to speak toward, the context of what this is saying. The genre of apocalyptic should be understood to mean this and this. So if we are to study Daniel, or to even read Daniel, we're going to have to spend some time. If we were to study Daniel, we'd need to spend time before reading it to understand the challenges of Daniel's day. First of all, it's written in Hebrew. That's unusual. What's unusual is it's partly written in Hebrew, partly written in Aramaic. Hebrew chapters 1 and parts of chapter 2, and then chapters 8 to 12 are in Hebrew, while the rest is in Aramaic. Also, the first 6 chapters are completely different from the last 6 chapters. So the first 6 chapters are both Hebrew and Aramaic. The last 6 have a mix also, but really the division in Daniel comes from the first half to the second half. Because in the first 6 chapters, these are just stories about stories that Jewish communities told themselves after being dispersed in the wake of exile. And so it was like, stories. The last 6 chapters are the apocalyptic vision part. The message, though, is this: evil doesn't get the last word. The chaos and violence of now will meet God's judgment eventually. So, Daniel, here we go. I'm going to do this for a few days, so it should be fun. 2nd John is written by the leader of one Christian community to another. As the elder writes to the elect lady and her children, scholars wonder, is the author referring to the church as the elect lady and, the church's children? Or was there a church leader who was female who would be receiving this letter? Either could be true. In these times, women generally direct affairs in the household. The earliest Christian churches are home churches. So women often hold positions of leadership in faith communities. So that's another question. It's a matter of interpretation, whether you think the elder is writing to the church and referring to the church as the elder lady or as the lady, or whether there's a person like Phoebe. There's a number of women referred to in the New Testament as being leaders of their community. So who knows? I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.